Today we're diving deep into tariffs, what they are, why governments use them, and how they impact your everyday life and wallet. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, and does not constitute financial, legal, tax, or investment advice. Always consult with qualified professionals for your specific situation. Now let's jump right in. What is a tariff and how does it work? A tariff is a tax that governments put on goods coming from other countries. But here's what makes tariffs different from regular taxes. They're designed to change behavior, not just raise money. Governments use tariffs for three main reasons: to protect domestic industries from foreign competition, to generate revenue, and as bargaining chips in trade negotiations. Here's how the math works. If a TV costs $100 in China and the US puts a 10% tariff on it, you'll pay $110 for that TV here. The extra $10 goes to the US government. This price increase makes American-made TVs more competitive because foreign ones are now artificially more expensive. There are three types of tariffs. Ad valorem tariffs are percentages of the product's value, like that 10% TV example. Specific tariffs charge a fixed amount per item, like $30 per ton of steel regardless of its market price. Compound tariffs combine both methods. Large economies like the US have extra power because their tariffs can actually force down world prices. When America reduces demand for foreign goods through tariffs, global prices often drop. So that $100 Chinese TV might fall to $95 globally, making your final price $104.50 instead of $110. How do tariffs affect consumer prices in the economy? Here's the most important fact. Tariffs almost always get passed directly to consumers. Research from the 2018 to 2019 trade war shows that tariffs had nearly 100% pass-through to consumer prices. This means when tariffs go up, your prices go up by almost the same amount. Real examples make this clear. When washing machine tariffs were imposed, washer prices jumped $86 per unit and dryer prices rose $92 per unit. This cost American consumers over $1.5 billion total. For Chinese goods, tariffs were completely passed through to import prices and largely passed through to retail prices. The broader economic effects are massive. By 2018, tariffs were costing Americans $3.2 billion per month in extra taxes, plus another $1.4 billion per month in economic losses from reduced trade efficiency. Over 11 months, the total economic damage reached $6.9 billion. Tariffs also caused dramatic supply chain disruptions. During the trade war, $165 billion worth of trade was redirected to avoid tariffs. Companies that had spent years building efficient supply chains suddenly had to find new suppliers, often at higher costs. Here's something crucial. Tariffs act like a regressive tax that hurts poor families more than rich ones. The poorest households pay about $95 annually from tariffs. Middle-income families pay $190, and the richest 10% pay $500. But as a percentage of income, poor families pay much more. This happens because lower-income households spend more of their budgets on basic goods that often face tariffs. The long-term effects are even worse. Research shows that comprehensive tariffs could reduce long-term economic growth by 6% and wages by 5%. Middle-income households could face a $22,000 lifetime loss in purchasing power. If you look forward to seeing more of our content, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Reddit. All our social media links are in the description below. Now back to more valuable information about tariffs. What's the difference between tariffs, duties, and taxes? Think of these as nested circles. Taxes are the biggest circle. They're all the ways governments collect money from people and businesses to fund public services. Duties are a smaller circle inside taxes. They're charges on goods and trade, including tariffs, but also other fees like excise taxes on gasoline and cigarettes. Tariffs are the smallest circle sitting inside duties. They specifically target imports to influence trade policy and protect domestic industries. There are also specialized duties worth knowing about. Anti-dumping duties are penalties when foreign companies sell goods below fair market value. Countervailing duties offset unfair foreign government subsidies. These require complex legal investigations and can take months to implement. The key difference is purpose. Taxes primarily raise revenue, duties regulate commerce, and tariffs specifically manage international trade competition. How can you find tariff rates for specific products? Every product traded internationally has a 10-digit classification code called an HTS code. The first 6 digits are the same worldwide, but each country adds 4 more digits for their specific tariff rates. The U.S. International Trade Commission provides a free online search tool where you can find any product's tariff rate. You can search by keywords like bicycle or smartphone, browse by category, or enter specific codes if you know them. For businesses, getting classification right is critical. Mistakes can result in penalties, duty adjustments going back 5 years, and costly audits. That's why many companies use customs brokers, which are licensed professionals who specialize in trade classification. For complex or high-value products, you can request a binding ruling from U.S. Customs. This gives you legal certainty about your product's classification and protects you from future disputes. These rulings are typically issued within 30 days and are legally binding on both you and the government. Are there legal ways to reduce or avoid tariffs? Yes, and smart businesses use multiple strategies. First, geographic diversification. Companies can source from different countries with lower tariff rates or free trade agreements. The USMCA agreement, for example, eliminates tariffs on qualifying goods between the US, Canada, and Mexico. Second, foreign trade zones are special areas where goods can be stored indefinitely without paying tariffs until they enter the US market. Companies can even manufacture in these zones, potentially changing the product's classification to qualify for lower rates. Third, bonded warehouses let companies store imports for up to 5 years without paying tariffs immediately. This improves cash flow and lets businesses time their market entry. Fourth, tariff engineering involves modifying products to qualify for lower tariff categories. Companies have changed material compositions, added or removed features, and altered manufacturing processes to achieve better classifications. Fifth, duty drawback programs let companies recover up to 99% of tariffs paid on materials used in products that are then exported. This is valuable for manufacturers serving global markets. Finally, proper documentation and compliance programs reduce audit risks and demonstrate good faith efforts to follow regulations correctly. The bottom line is that tariffs are trade taxes that almost always increase consumer prices and create economic inefficiencies. While they may protect some domestic jobs short-term, they generally cost the economy more than they help. Understanding how they work helps you make better financial decisions and understand economic policy debates. For businesses, tariff management is now a competitive necessity. For consumers, tariffs are essentially hidden taxes that affect everything from clothing to electronics to food. Don't forget to share this video with a friend so they stay in the loop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stick around for more fascinating facts about money, finance, and investing. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Reddit. All our social media links are in the description below. Your support is always greatly appreciated. Remember, this video is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, tax, or investment advice. Always consult with qualified professionals for your specific situation.